Strange, right? One Batman shows up in a handful of superhero team-up films, casually uses guns, and disappears without ever getting his own proper solo story. Meanwhile, the other debuts in his own film, avoids the baggage of a shared universe, and delivers one of the most comic-accurate Batman we've seen in years. If you haven't guessed, we're talking about Ben Affleck's Batman versus Robert Pattinson's Batman. On paper, Affleck looked perfect for the role. Older, grizzled, built like the Arkham video game design. But somehow, his version still stumbled. Pattinson, mocked early as the Twilight guy, ended up surprising everyone and proving the doubters wrong. So why did one fail to stick while the other resonated so strongly? Let's break it down. Why Robert Pattinson's Batman works and Ben Affleck's doesn't. We'll look at Affleck breaking Batman's sacred rule, his awkward use of guns, the lack of solo story, and how Pattinson restored Batman's detective roots while staying free of messy cinematic universes. By the end, you'll see why one version feels definitive, while the other feels disposable. Even casual fans know Batman's golden rule. Batman doesn't kill. It's the moral backbone of his character, what separates him from the criminals he hunts. From comics to animation to Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, this principle has remained central. But Affleck's Batman, he ignores it completely. In Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, we see him mowing down criminals with the Batmobile, causing fiery explosions and even shooting henchmen dead. And this wasn't an accident. Zack Snyder openly said his Batman kills. While that may have been a deliberate creative choice, it undercuts the very foundation of the character. Think about it. If Batman kills, half his rogues gallery wouldn't even exist. If he kills, his entire mission collapses. If he kills, the Joker could never have been his greatest enemy. Pattinson's Batman, on the other hand, stays true to the code. He's brutal, yes. He beats criminals within an inch of their lives, but he never crosses that final line. The audience can trust that even in his darkest moments, this Batman isn't a cold-blooded murderer, and that consistency builds credibility. It makes Pattinson's Batman feel like the one rooted in 80-plus years of lore. Pattinson, if you're asking which person is the better Batman, then Pattinson by a long shot. He has a no-kill rule, learned by the end of the movie that protecting the people of Gotham was the priority, not vengeance, and is detective-focused. Ben Affleck is a good Flashpoint Batman. I find that people like him just because he's big and bulky and looks like the comic Batman. So when Affleck casually guns down thugs, it breaks immersion. It doesn't feel like Batman, just another vigilante in a bat suit. It's not only about killing, it's about guns. We've seen Affleck's Batman use firearms multiple times, but Batman's hatred of guns is core to his origin. His parents were murdered by one. That trauma defines his mission. So when we see Batman wielding rifles, Batmobiles with machine guns, and heavy artillery, it's jarring. Creators may call it creative liberty. In reality, it's betrayal. Pattinson's Batman never touches a gun. His arsenal is pure Batman. Smoke bombs, grappling hooks, gadgets, and hand-to-hand combat. It feels authentic. Fans notice the contrast. In my opinion, Pattinson's usage is nothing like Batfleck's. Pattinson was fighting over the gun and it went off 3 times. It's not his fault, whereas Batfleck 100% had his finger on the trigger. Batfleck's action may have looked cool, but it stripped away Batman's essence. And when you betray the essence, you lose fans. Here's another major issue. Ben Affleck's Batman never got a solo movie. He debuted in Batman v Superman, sharing the spotlight with Superman, then a brief cameo in Suicide Squad, then Justice League, where he was just one member of the team. No build-up, no exploration of his psychology, no deep dive into Gotham or his villains, just fragments of a character. Pattinson, by contrast, launched with his own 3-hour film, The Batman. Free from DCEU entanglements, it was a focused, grounded story. We watched him struggle, investigate, and evolve. By the end, we felt like we knew this Bruce Wayne. His anger, his fear, his vulnerability. Affleck's Batman, we know he's older, bitter, and haunted by Robin's death. But without a solo film, those hints never become a fully fleshed character. Batman has always been the world's greatest detective, but in most live-action films, that part gets sidelined. Bale's Batman did some detective work, but leaned on gadgets. Affleck's Batman was essentially a tank, brute force, over brains. Enter Robert Pattinson. The Batman is basically a noir detective story wearing a cape, from crime scene analysis to cryptic riddles. We watch him unravel the Riddler's schemes like a true investigator. It's Batman as Sherlock Holmes, and fans loved it. Affleck's Batman could throw punches with Superman. Pattinson's could outthink his villains, and that's crucial. Batman isn't just about strength. His real weapon is his mind. Affleck could be good, but Pattinson in this movie really resonated with me and connected with comics I've read and shows I've seen. Basically, it felt like the Batman I've known for so long. By embracing Batman's detective roots, Pattinson gave fans something Affleck never did: a smart, methodical Dark Knight. Another big reason Pattinson's Batman works: he was free from the DCEU. Affleck's version was chained to endless crossovers: Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash, Justice League, even Suicide Squad. His story was suffocated by setups and shared universe baggage. Pattinson's Batman stood alone. Matt Reeves crafted a grounded, Gotham-centered story with no multiverse strings attached. That freedom also affected tone. Affleck was framed as a brooding figure among gods and aliens. Pattinson was street-level, raw, and vulnerable, a detective caught in Gotham's corruption. Fans craved that grounded storytelling, and Reeves delivered. This isn't about who's the better actor. Both Affleck and Pattinson are talented. The difference lies in the writing and vision. Affleck looks like how I imagine Bruce Wayne would like in real life. He just got a shit story and not the greatest suit. If he got his own solo like Pattinson away from the DCEU, then I'd say Affleck could have been one of the greatest. So what do you think? Did Affleck deserve his own solo film to prove himself? Or is Pattinson already the definitive Batman of this generation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives here on Silver Screen Hero.